When you think country music, what's the first thing that pops into your head? Your favorite artist? The city of Nashville? How about WSM Radio? Well, no matter what comes to mind, I think we can all agree that country music wouldn't be what it is today without the Grand Ole Opry. So we thought it would be a good idea to pay tribute to that most enduring symbol of the music we know and love. So we invited tons of country music legends to join in the celebration. Singers, songwriters, the movers and shakers of country music history. These are the stories of the Opry you won't hear anywhere else. And the music and memories made on that stage will last for many generations to come. Join us, won't you, as Country's Family Reunion pays tribute to the Opry. Welcome to Country's Family Reunion. Salute to the Opry.
The sound of that music, it can only mean one thing: another Country's Family Reunion, and a very special one this time, as we all salute the show that made country music famous, the world-famous Grand Ole Opry. We are going to have a good time this time. Mel McDaniel wrote a song about it called The Grandest Lady of Them All. Conway Twitty recorded it, and after all of these years, she is still the grandest lady of them all. And the way that the Opry has started for so many years is the way that we got to start it this time. Ladies and gentlemen, with, I almost said, take it away, Hoot Hester. I'm so used to hearing them say that. Hank Singer on the fiddle and our great family reunion band and the Grand Ole Opry Square Dancers. The Grand Ole Opry Square Dancers. Usually when y'all come on and you open a show, you just come out and dance, and then you kind of disappear. Nobody ever talks to you. I know the reason you don't talk is because you can't breathe at this point. Marcia Campbell, you're kind of the spokesperson for the group, is that right?
Sure, I will be today.
We never get a chance to meet all the dancers individually. Tell us who everybody is.
I tell you what, how about we just move right along? Marcia Campbell.
Clyde Richardson, Bubba.
Daniel Bell.
I never knew your name was Clyde. I thought it was Bubba.
Cheryl Chun.
We'll skip you.
Michelle Rogers.
Eddie Oliver.
My longtime buddy from Lebanon, Tennessee. Great to have y'all here. Is it hard to dance on a smaller floor? Because this is much smaller than the space at the Opry.
Well, dancing at the Ryman, we're kind of limited anyway. So this is perfect. Any shoe is a good dance shoe, and any floor is a good dancing floor.
They put down a new floor, a teakwood floor at the Opry House after the flood. They were so proud of the floor. The first time I walked out there, you had danced, there were already scratches on the floor.
I think Buck White did that.
Shouldn't have done that, Buck. Well, it's great to have y'all here. You're going to hang around and be part of the reunion with us all?
We're just so proud to be here, and thank you.
All right. The great Opry Square Dancers getting us off to a wonderful start. Thank you. Thank you, Marcia. Wow.
Hey, Bill.
I was going to come here, Keith Bilbrey. You may be wired.
I can't travel
Let me come
far.
to you. Keith Bilbrey was, of course, the Grand Ole Opry announcer for how many years?
Well, I was there 34 years. I wasn't an Opry announcer all that time, but a good majority of it.
But you were at WSM for that whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Many nights, I know you stood on that stage. Give me that Keith Bilbrey introduction to opening up an Opry show with the Square Dancers.
Live from Nashville, it's the Grand Ole Opry. Hoot Hester, let's hear that fiddle. And I'll tell you a little story about that. This is the only night this ever happened. I do the big introduction. I look around here. Here's the Square Dancers. The musicians are out there. I can just see the silhouettes because the curtain's down and it's dark. But I assume Hoot's out there, and I say, "Hoot Hester, let's hear that fiddle." And I look out, no Hoot, and I hear this, and here's Hoot running out to get his fiddle, which is over by the drums, and he has to run all the way back around. And I'm there. You know, the fiddle's the main part. You can't, guys, can you just vamp or something? But he finally got, do you remember that, Jimmy Caps? Oh, God. The only time he was standing back there talking to somebody, as you know you would, at the backstage at the Opry, and just lost track of the time, and no Hoot.
And that was not a hoot.
Yeah, he didn't give a hoot. No, he was very embarrassed about that. He'll be embarrassed once again as I tell this story, but that's good, because he put me in a position, now I'm telling you.
Now, there's another guy across from us over here that can tell you a little bit about square dancing at the Grand Ole Opry, because between him and his older brother, Ralph Sloan, Melvin Sloan, how many miles you reckon you've danced on the Opry stage?
Oh, for 50 years we were there, Ralph and myself. He started in 19... Thank you.
Yeah.
He started in 1952, and I retired in 2002. And out of the 50 years... one of our main things, we never missed one scheduled performance at the Grand Ole Opry. Maybe he might not have been there, but the team was there, or I may have been something, and I couldn't be there, but 50 years of dancing every time at the Opry, a scheduled performance. One night, we had a storm, a big snowstorm, and I gathered dancers. I started gathering dancers at 12 o'clock, and I had a big motorhome. And as we pulled up at the back door of the new Opry House, we all got out and ran into the Opry House with our clothes on that we wore down there. And just as we run in, the fiddle started, and here the curtain was going up, and here we were dancing, but we made that performance.
Without your dancing clothes.
Without our dancing clothes and our shoes. And this is one of our older costumes.
Yeah.
This is the first time I've had it on in 10 years today. So it's great.
Still fits?
Well, it still fits after I lost 45 pounds or something. No.
You brought up an interesting point. How hard is it to dance without the dancing shoes on?
It's awful hard. In fact, yesterday I took the taps off of these shoes because I did not want everybody here today telling me to be quieter because, you know, they make a lot of noise. And it's the truth. But anyway, you know, I like the sound of it. I like the excitement of it.
Sure.
And it was something else. I had never danced like they danced until after Ralph died. I was always in the music and singing business. And when he and I talked about it, he died with cancer, and he and I talked a whole lot about it. We were very, very close, and he said, "Melvin, you got to carry on." And so that's what I did. I stepped in, and I had the dancers there help me so much. Jean and Vernon Huffine. I went to their house, and I sat down at a little table, and they got out some papers, and they said, and they drew these patterns out, and they said, this is what you call this. I didn't want the other dancers to know that I didn't know anything, you see. And they drew this out, and I still have those papers. That was been it was 1980.
Wow.
Well, you did a great job,
Thank
and
you
we're so
much.
glad that you're here today.
Thank you,
Melvin,
Bill.
Sloan,
Thank you so much.
and the Sloan family, a big part of our Grand Ole Opry tradition down through the years as we salute the Grand Ole Opry. Our buddy Billy Dean is with us. Billy's not a Grand Ole Opry member. You've performed on the stage many times, and it's great to have you here. I understand that your song, Only Here for a Little While, that you're about to sing, kind of means something very special to you in relation to the people that are in this room, in this circle, and those that are not here.
It does, Bill. You know, last time I was here with everyone, my first producer, my dear friend Larry Butler, was here. Larry produced, you know, The Gambler and Lady and for Kenny Rogers, and we just had the best time. And T was here. Remember, we were all kind of, me and T. And,
I love Larry.
And Larry, yeah, and just, he went the best way you can go. He died in his sleep, and just like the song The Gambler, you know, he's just like he died in his sleep. And so I've had him on my mind today, and thank you for inviting me.
Well, I think this might be a good time for all of us to remember back our friends that have sat in this circle with us down through the years that are no longer with us, and those that are not here for other various reasons. And your song speaks very well to that. Would you share that with us?
I sure will. Yes, sir.
All right.
Thank
The song's called He's Only Here for a Little While. Do it, brother. Billy Dean.
It's for my buddy Larry Butler. Gonna hold who needs holding, bend what needs bending, walk what needs walking, though it means an extra mile. Pray what needs praying, say what needs saying, 'cause we're only here for a little while. Today I stood singing songs and saying amen, saying goodbye to an old friend that seemed so young. Well, he spent his life working hard to chase that dollar, putting off until tomorrow the things I should have done. It made me stop and think, what's the hurry while they're running? I don't like what I'm becoming. I'm gonna change my style. I'm gonna take my time and not take it all for granted, 'cause we're only here for a little while. Sing it with me, children. Gonna hold who needs holding, bend what needs mending, walk what needs walking, though it needs an extra mile. Pray what needs praying, say what needs saying, 'cause we're only here for a little while. Where you're gonna play the Grand Ole Opry, you better have a fiddle in the band. So let me love like I'll never see tomorrow. Treat each day like it's borrowed, like it's precious as a child. Oh, take my hand, let us reach out to each other, 'cause we're only here for a little while. Gonna hold who needs holding, mend what needs mending, walk what needs walking, it needs an extra mile. And pray what needs praying, say what needs saying, 'cause we're only here for a little while. Circle the wagon, yes, we're only here for a little while. Yeah! That's for my buddy Larry.
Great job, Billy. Thank you. And I think a good way to start this all off is remembering some of the people that, as I said, have sat in this circle before. Larry and I just did a little short series called Looking Back on the country reunions, where we went back through the files of all the years and pulled out some of those great performances with our old friends. And you realize we are only here for a little while.
That's true. And I don't, Carol Lee and I were talking in the dressing room a little bit ago. I don't know what came up, but we all of a sudden were quoting Bill Carlisle. And it just happens to all of us. And of course, I quote Johnny Russell quite often. Most of it we can't mention on the air. And Dale Reeves, I find myself quoting Dale quite often.
What did Carlisle say?
Oh, Carol can tell you what was it, Carol?
You'd tell him a story and he'd say, that's the mainest part.
The mainest part, yeah. We were getting ready. It was, well, that's the mainest part right
Well,
there.
one of the mainest things here today is having Carol Lee back with us. We have missed you. Oh, and the fans have missed you. The two emails that I get the most, where is Carol Lee? And when is Jean Shepherd going to put her book out? Jean Shepherd's book, as soon as it gets, the censors have had it tied up for 6 months.
I think she's waiting for us to
I
all
told
be
the
gone.
truth.
She's what?
I think she's waiting for us to all be gone.
I got a long wait.
I hope so.
But every story in there is true. And I cleaned it up.
But it is still in the process, and it will be out at
Well,
some
I had
point.
a lady that didn't know nothing what she's doing. I thought she did. And I sent money to this publisher, and they kept the money and sent me my manuscript back.
Oh.
Well, dang.
Well, everybody's looking forward to it.
Yes, we are.
And
It will be out by Christmas, I promise, I promise.
Did you hear that? Christmas.
she didn't say which Christmas time. She just said Christmas time, didn't she? Carol Lee, catch us up. What you been doing, and have you missed us as much as we've missed you?
I truly have. Because it's a family. This is truly a family. And, we all use that phrase lightly, but it really is real. Yes. And to be gone from the Opry, I haven't even listened to the Opry because I couldn't, I just couldn't do it. And my memories are in here. And I'm just so grateful that I had the 39 and a half years at the Opry that I had, not counting the first time I went there, which is so over 40 years. And those of you who have been here longer than me, you know what I'm talking about. And it's just a very special organization to be a part of.
Bill, I told her in the dressing room a while ago, for
what
me,
were you doing in her dressing room?
It seems like Carol Lee's always been, and she always will be. It's just we have missed you a whole lot.
Oh, thank you. I can't tell you what that means to me. The fans have been so kind, and I've just learned a little bit about Facebook. So now the fans have. When I retired from the Opry, I'm still working other projects. But when I retired from the Opry, all kinds of messages came in from the fans through Facebook, my birthday in March for one, and then the retirement later in March. And I was so grateful. So, I got on the internet one night and I thought, I'm going to Google me and see what I Googled my mother and read a lot, that they had written about mother. I found out when I Googled myself, you got to really be careful. I'm dead. I found out that I'm dead. It said, it said something about I had retired from the Opry, and then the next little message that came down said, I heard Carol Lee Cooper died. Is that true? And somebody else answered it and said, yes, it is, and gave a date.
Well, may you rest in peace.
I know. I'm having the greatest time.
You look good.
Do I look good?
Thinking back to the days when your mom and dad, Will, Millie, and Stoney, were at the Opry, how old were you the first time you ever sang at the Grand Ole Opry?
13 years old.
13 years old.
Yeah, when we guested on the Opry. And we came in from Wheeling to do that guest spot. And so I played guitar back then, and I was recording with them during that time. And so then a year went by and we got the call.
Is that when you went to sleep in the guitar case
Yeah,
backstage?
well, I was on stage from the time I was 2, so that was early on.
Yeah.
You know, so traveled on the road with my mother and dad. I didn't know any other way.
Well, thank you for taking time to be with us today. I know the fans are thrilled to see you.
Oh,
and
I thank them
we all
so
are, and you're just as lovely as ever.
Oh, the fans have been really so much to us. You know, they keep us going.
I'm jealous that you share a dressing room with T. Graham Brown.
Oh, well, I meant makeup.
Yes, it was in makeup.
You know, I may have one of Carol Lee's first autographs. I went to see Wilma Lee and Stoney Cooper at a place called Hillbilly Park in Franklin, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
And Carol Lee was there. And so when I got everybody to sign the picture, and when I got to Carol Lee, I asked her if she would sign it, and she turned it over. And she signed Carol Lee, and I think we decided she was 9 years old then.
I was.
And I still have it.
I remember.
We survived the flood. We
Isn't that,
made
that's
that,
amazing because.
That's terrific.
Bill, you don't get any more authentic in country music than this lady.
That's right.
Mother Maybelle Carter taught her to play poker on tour. I mean, that's as
She
country
did.
as it gets right there. She's
She
a good
did.
poker player too, wasn't she?
Huh?
She was a good poker player
Oh
too.
my, she was excellent. And she loved to play poker. She really, really did. But we were doing one of those 40-day tours across Canada. And it was, let me think, Hank Snow, my mother and dad and I, Mother Maybelle, Cowboy Copus, and there was somebody else. I apologize if I'm missing someone. But there were 5 cars of us, no buses back then. We covered one side of Canada to the other, and we ended up over in, Newfoundland and Prince Edward Island. And when we got to Prince Edward Island, they didn't have any roads at all. And so we went everywhere by way of this train, and it was called the Newfie Bullet, because about the closest it could get would be 25 miles an hour. Going downhill, it might hit 40. So we were all in little bunks, you know, just hanging out of the walls up there, you know, the little tiny train. And I went by, going by, and the curtains were pulled, and I heard this voice say, "Carol Lee, come in here." I knew it was Maybelle. And she said, "I'm going to teach you how to play poker today." So I crawled up in her bunk, and she taught me how to play penny poker. We played all night long.
Did you win?
No, you don't win with Mother Maybelle. No. And then later on, when we went to the Opry, I was 14, and when we joined, and one night, Mother Maybelle went to my dad and said, "Helen is sick. Could I take Carol Lee on the road with me tonight to fill in for one of the Carters, for Helen?" And so I was one of the Carter sisters one night. Wow. And you know, I remember, Bill, them traveling, you know, like I said, we were in cars, and we left after the Opry that night, so everybody had already done their work, and got in the car, had to drive all night and the next day to get there. And I remember Mother Maybelle took the first shift, and she drove till she just couldn't drive anymore. And then June got in, and she drove, and she would stop at a service station, if we could find one, and get a wash rag and wet it, and come back and wash her face with it, driving, washing her face. Just every now and then she'd pick up that, and then every now and then she'd roll the window down and stick her head out the window just to revive her enough to get through to get us there.
Hey, that's a bluegrass bass. Isn't it? Ricky, they call that a bluegrass bass?
Yeah.
What a segue you gave me, Carol Lee.
Yes, it
You
is.
gave me a great segue because Jan Howard is scheduled to sing next, and you were a Carter sister at one time.
Well, yeah, just about.
No, I mean, you
Can be half
worked
work,
with the Carter sisters and the Johnny Cash show and traveled
I
with
was,
them. So.
Because there was a period in my life where I decided to quit. And of course, I knew Mother Maybelle and everybody, and they were like family to me. And so when one of the girls couldn't go, when Anita or Helen couldn't go, Mother Maybelle would call and say, "Jan, can you go sing Anita's part or Helen's part?" "Sure, I can go." And besides that, I loved them, and it was just great. I loved it.
So whosever part it was, you could sing it, huh?
Oh, yeah. Well, I guess.
And so few people realize that you were actually the voice that so many people thought was one of the Carters on
I know.
Johnny Cash's record of Daddy Sang Bass.
I did, and later, of course, when I started back and started recording for Decca, I couldn't have my likeness or my name to appear on somebody else's record, but I still like to sing harmony. So they just put Helen's name or Helen's picture, whatever. I didn't care. I just wanted to sing harmony, and so that's the way it was. But you were talking about Mother Maybelle and she loved to play poker and stuff. She also loved the slot machines. Oh, yeah. And one time in Vegas, she sat on a stool. No, she stood all night and played slot machines. And she got a blood clot in her leg. And they had to take her to the hospital. And they kept her a few hours and stuff. And she came back, and she just got a stool and stopped. She didn't go to her room. She stopped and did slots. She was a character. I love Mother Maybelle.
How about coming up to the bandstand, as it were, here?
I brought
singing
something for you to look at.
Yeah, this is interesting.
Yeah.
You need to show this to everybody, because I think as well as I know you and as deep in your career as I've followed you all these years, I never knew Jan Howard recorded for Sundown Records.
Well, it wasn't really a record till then. I mean, it wasn't a label. They just made it up.
Now, this song that you sing on here was just recorded as a demo for your husband, Harlan Howard, who wrote the song.
That's the demo.
This is the demo that they released. Can they do that?
Wow.
They did. Oh, they did. Oh.
I don't know if it's legal or not. Get your microphone there. This we're going to kind of pay tribute to a lot of our Opry friends that are no longer with us, and this, of course, was a big hit for our buddy Charlie Walker.
But there's more to this story.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Than meets the eye or the ear. I did the demo on this, and it was laid there for quite some time, and it was sent to Pamper Music for Ray Price. And Ray thought his buddy, now this is a story I got and the way it was, he thought his buddy Poke Salad Charlie down in San Antonio needed a hit. So he gave Pick Me Up on Your Way Down to Charlie Walker. And then, of course, sometime later, Ray did Heartaches by the Number. So that was...
I never think of Charlie Walker and Family Reunion that I don't think of one of our early tapings, and we were in the circle all morning. We broke for lunch. We came back. It was Charlie's turn to sing, and I introduced, ladies and gentlemen, it was Charlie Walker. Looked over there, and he was sound asleep. So that's a warning. Nobody goes to sleep after lunch today. Go back and sing that old song.
Okay, I'll be honored to do this. Y'all kick it off. You were mine for just a while. Now you're putting on the style, and you never once looked back at your home across the track. You're the gossip of the town, but my heart can still be found where you tossed it on the ground. Pick me up on your way down. Pick me up on your way down when you're blue and all alone, when their glamour starts to bore you. Come on back where you belong. You're the gossip of the town, but my heart can still be found where you tossed it on the ground. Pick me up on your way down. Oh yeah. Your new friends can take the blame. true. I'll be waiting here for you as you tumble to the ground. Pick me up on your way down. Pick me up on your way down when you're blue and all alone, when their glamour starts to bore you. Come on back where you belong. You're the gossip of the town, but my heart can still be found where you tossed it on the ground. Pick me up on your way down. That's for Charlie.
Bill.
Boy, what a great song.
I got a Charlie Walker story.
Tell me a Charlie Walker story.
You know, Charlie was a frugal guy. He would pinch a penny on you, you know, and which was a good thing. And we were out playing golf one day, and he saw these two kids out in a ditch trying to find golf balls to go sell, you know. And he said, drive on over there where those boys are. And I drove over, and I said, what are you going to do? He says, hey, fellas, y'all come on up here. And they came up, and he handed one of them a dime and said, go get y'all a pop. And he said, where? Kid said, where?
Charlie was quite a golfer, wasn't he?
I was. He was great golfer.
Yeah. One of the things that's been kind of a tradition at the Opry down through the years, and I know, of course, Jim Ed with Helen Cornelius and various ones down through the years.
What do you mean various ones?
Just teaming up and doing songs together, doing duets together.
Clarify that, yeah. Especially with Jim Ed, yeah.
You and I started singing together when you joined my television show in 1966.
Yeah.
Jean Shepherd left the show due to illness. She got sick of me, so she left the show, and you came on, and we started singing some songs together. You remember the first night we did this song here on the Grand Ole Opry?
Ah, yes, I do. I love the song. I still do.
Well, when I was a disc jockey, this song was a big hit in the bluegrass field by Don Reno and Red Smiley, written by Don Reno and Porter Wagner's little fiddle player for many years, Mac McGahee. A lot of people don't realize Mac was one of the writers on this song. But I always
did he
thought
dance while he sang?
Yeah.
I believe
sang
I
while he
can't do
danced
that.
and danced while he sang.
I'm not going to do that.
Well, thank you. Me either. Hit us an F chord, Mike. I know you're married, but I love you still.
The day I met you, I knew you weren't free. But I vowed I'd love you through eternity.
And though I knew you were another's bride, I vowed my heart would never leave your side. You know I love you, and I always will. I know you're married, but I love you still.
That's the truth.
Have made that sacred vow. If I had only known what I know now.
What inside my heart, thank you, Bill. So close together, yet so far apart. You know I love you, and I always
Thank you. That's always fun.
That's fun.
Appreciate that.
Though you broke.
Jan and I sang, made records together, toured together for a long, long time. Roy Clark, you've been awful quiet so far today.
I ain't got nothing to say.
I've known you a lot of years. You've never had nothing to say.
I was just teasing.
How are you?
Pretty good for the shape I'm in. You've heard the expression, if I knew I was going to last this long, I'd have taken better care of myself. It's very true in this case. It's like my grandpa used to say, be careful, the next thing you know, be the last thing you know.
That's good.
No, this is coming home. I guess the most rewarding part of these reunions is we get a chance to see people that we haven't seen in sometimes a year, 2 years.
Well, especially in your case, because you don't live in Nashville.
Right.
And haven't lived here. I don't guess you've ever really lived in Nashville, have you?
The closest, I think, is when we were in our probably third year of taping Hee Haw. I rented an apartment. So that's the closest I ever come to living here.
You're still in Tulsa?
Yes, sir.
But you're one of the newer members of the Grand Ole Opry. I say newer members. Within the last, how many years have you been a member now?
Oh, Lord, don't pin me down to anything. I don't know how many years.
More than 10? Has it been more than 10 years?
Yes, oh yes, more than 10.
Time flies when you're having fun.
But you know, I go back to every time, especially go to the Ryman, that I came to Nashville to the Grand Ole Opry in 1952. Wow. I had won a banjo contest back in Virginia, and one of the best part of it was I got a trip to come to Nashville. And not as a individual, but working with like String Bean, Annie Lou and Danny, and the Duca Paducah. We'd go out and play these little theaters, and then on the weekend, we'd join up with one of the big stars, like Ernest Tubb, Red Foley, or whatever, and that was my introduction to the Grand Ole Opry, because the Grand Ole Opry, especially at that time, to me, was a radio. It's what it looked like. When I hear the Grand Ole Opry music, I'm picturing a rodeo. And so a rodeo, no. I think that's what put me in the shape I'm in, is I played too many rodeos.
Not enough radios.
Not enough radios. Really, but this is such a joy for me. It's my excuse to anybody that wants to know where I'm going, as I'm going to the Grand Ole Opry, or going down to do a reunion show. And they say, oh yeah, we see you on there occasionally. So this is just another extension of why I'm in love to be here.
What would we have to do to twist your arm and get you to do a song?
Well, it's going to take a team of lumberjacks to get me up to the microphone.
If you want to stay right where you are and be comfortable, you're feel free to do that.
Well, that'll work.
Okay.
Especially if you see me try to get up.
Hey, Bill, I sent Roy a box of medicine.
I wondered how long it's going to take for you to get back to it. We got to talking about, there's a mayonnaise back on the east, I don't know how far it goes, Virginia, North Carolina, and in that area called Duke's. And it is a distinct taste. Well, we got to talking about it, and I thought that's as far as it would go. And it was about 3 weeks later that I get a carton of Duke's mayonnaise from T. And somehow it got lost, we thought. So he sent another case. And in the meantime, the first case showed up. So we've been knee-deep into Duke's mayonnaise for quite a while.
Well, you ought to be well greased up, then.
I wasn't going to talk about that part. No, it's, where did we start on this conversation? I know where we wound up, as you was wanting to know if I'd get up and sing.
I was wanting to know if you'd say, I didn't say you had to get up. I just said,
I'm glad you didn't.
Well, stay right there if you want to.
Okay, which one are we going to do first, the Greyhound? And this song is very special to me because not too long ago, I was doing an interview with a young man from a local newspaper. And he said, of all the songs that you've recorded, do you have a favorite? And I said, I really can't do that. I've been doing this quite a while. I will admit to over 40 years. For me to single out one song in that period of time is very hard. I said, but I do have one that I love songs that have definite, I had it until I started to say it, messages, you know, that funny and or sad. And this song really captures all of that. It really expresses to you what Roy Clark is all about. This speaks for me. I've made a small fortune, and you've squandered it so. You've broken and you've tasted everything I taught to grow. But I thought that I loved you, and I hoped you would change. So I gritted my teeth and didn't complain. It's sad now. Now you come to me with a simple goodbye. You tell me you're leaving, but you won't tell me why. We're here at the station, and you've tried not to go, but here I sit waiting. I got the wrong lead in line. If I don't come up with the one that belongs here, we could be here all day long. Well, it's happening more frequent here of late. Thank God in Greyhound you're gone. Thank God in Greyhound you're gone. I didn't know how much longer I could go on, watching you take the respect out of me, watching you make a total wreck out of me. That big diesel motor is playing my song. Thank God in Greyhound you're gone. Thank God in Greyhound you're gone. That load on my mind got lighter when you got on. That shiny old bus is a beautiful sight, with the black smoke rolling up around the taillights. It may sound kind of cruel, but I've been silent too long. Thank God in Greyhound you're gone. Thank God and Greyhound you're gone. Yes. I was thinking about what I was going to say next, and it don't work. You better just concentrate on what you're trying to say now. But you'll have to admit, Bill, that is a heavy message.
Very heavy message. Did Greyhound ever do anything for you for giving them all that publicity?
Not. Somebody said they were working on a deal, but it never got off the ground or out of the bus terminal. It
looks like at least they could have done was give you a bus or something.
Well, I was thinking of that. If not only a bus, a ticket. Give me a ticket to Atlanta. Means that they're listening.
Yeah.
You know. But it. You know what happened was that I wasn't supposed to sing until after we broke for lunch. So I was playing catch up when you said, Roy, are you going to sing a song? I said, well, I guess I have to now. You've introduced it.
Well, it was right there on my sheet of paper. They didn't tell me wait till after lunch. It says now.
No,
Just
it's
bring him lunch now.
Yeah, we'll go get you some lunch right now.
well, and if I had remembered the words, it wouldn't have made all that much difference anyway.
You're great regardless.
Oh,
So
bless
glad
your
you're
heart.
here.
Thank you.
Absolutely. We all love
Thank
it.
y'all for your applause.
Duet.
I thought he did that on purpose. Look at all the attention he got.
Now, don't you be spreading it around.
You and Gene Watson almost match in your colors today.
Yeah.
I think that's the most colorful I've seen Gene on one of our shows. You're lighting up the place, pal.
He'd been the band well. I don't have a microphone, so I'm unplugged.
No, you're plugged.
Am I plugged?
Yeah, you're
No,
plugged.
you got one. Jim Ed, I'll work this chair. You work that.
I was going to say you can use this one, because I'm not going to use it anymore.
What do you say?
Roy said he could have this one. He was not going to use it anymore. But I assume he'd have to come and get it, right?
Yeah, probably
yeah,
so.
I'm wired up.
Gene, I was standing out in the hall yesterday during rehearsal, and you were in here doing this tribute song to Marty Robbins. I guess it sounded fantastic, as everybody will find out in a minute. Were you a big Marty fan?
Yes. I thought he was one of the greatest voices in country music. Thought he was a delightful, funny guy, but so sincere at the same time. I had the pleasure of doing a tribute to Ernest Tubb, and they asked me to come because they said Ernest thought so much of me, and Marty was hosting the show. And I was just so blown away with Marty, the way he handled everything, sort of like you do. And we were backstage, and I told him, I said, man, you are so cool at this, you do it so well. I said, you seem to have a handle on everything. He said, do you really think so? I said, you're doing a great job. He said, man, my insides are jumping up and down. He said, but he was a fantastic guy.
I knew him pretty well, toured with him quite a bit, but I read the book that came out about him that our friend Diane Dickman wrote. That I highly recommend that if you're a Marty Robbins fan. She's written 2 books. She wrote a great one about Farron Young, and she wrote a great one about Marty Robbins. And I learned a lot about Marty I didn't know. And it's interesting that you told that story, because she brings out in the book that Marty was really kind of an insecure person inside. That he didn't have a lot of confidence.
He was. And I didn't know about it, but they did an interview with him of WSM. And they gave me a cassette tape. You may have seen it, I don't know, Keith. Yeah. But Benny Ray, I believe, was doing an interview with Marty. And this was back after about, I guess, my 3rd hit. And they were doing an interview with Marty, and he talked more about me than he did himself. And I was so blown away because I didn't know anything about it. But I found out after that Marty was, of course, he had told me he liked my singing, and I understood that. But he was a big fan of mine, and that thrilled me so much. And the song you're talking about, before I recorded that song twice, and before I recorded it, I felt extremely intimidated because when Marty got through with the song, it was done, and of course Elvis did it too. So,
you talking about the song you're getting ready to sing?
No, I hope not. No, it don't matter to me. Whichever one.
Marty was so underrated as a songwriter. He wrote nearly all of his big hits, and even though he did not have the big hit on "You Gave Me a Mountain," he wrote it, and everybody identifies.
Yeah, I get requests for it a lot, and people that don't know that I recorded it, they request me, wanting me to do that Elvis song, "You Gave Me a Mountain," And
well, it started with Martin David Robinson. Can we get Gene Watson to sing it?
Yeah, if Mr. Roy let me use this microphone. See, Jim Ed, I'm not plugged up.
Well, but you got
a wireless.
But you got that other thing on.
I got wires hanging off of me because
you want that one or you want this?
All this stuff they hooked to me came loose. This is fine.
There's your one.
I like it. I'm sitting over there in that chair, and all these goodies started falling off of me. And I started wadding them up and poking them in my pocket everywhere. Jim Ed just said, "Talk louder."
You've been telling me that for years.
I've got lot of memories of the Grand Ole Opry, Bill, and even though I'm not a member and wish I was, the first time I was ever there was because of the Wilburn brothers. They had heard me down in Texas and invited me to come up to Nashville and do a demo for them on some of their songs, which I did, and got to work one of their shows over in North Carolina. On the way back, of course, you know, we played the Grand Ole Opry, and they put me on stage at the Ryman. And talk about nervous. But that was my first introduction to the Grand Ole Opry. But Lord, there's a lot of stories I could tell, you know, and like Mr. Roy, without forgetting the words a while ago, Jimmy Capps probably tell you a story about me. It was about 2 seconds before I was supposed to go on stage, and I forgot the start of the song. And I ran back to Jimmy Capps and I said, "How does this song start?" He said, 5511 405. He said, "I ain't got no words written down." But I think that's happened to all of us. I thought I'd do a song that was written for me by a Canadian friend of mine that wrote a lot of songs for me.
Tell me what it says on there.
That ain't what it says?
No, it says on there you go sing the Marty Robbins song.
Well, I'd just soon to as not. Don't matter to me. I just don't want to. I'm glad this show's loose.
Well, I know that's whatever's on that sheet is what the band's
Well,
ready to play.
they probably done it that way because they won't see my eyes pop out real early. That's good with me, though. I've never felt better than had less in my life. Yeah, I'd like to do this. And Marty, if you're listening, keep your fingers crossed for me. Hope you folks like it. One call, you gave me a mountain.
Born in the heat of the desert, my mother died giving me life. Deprived of the love of a father, blamed for the loss of his wife. You know, Lord, I've been in a prison for something that I've never done. It's been one hill after another, and I climb them all one by one. But this time you gave me a mountain that I may never climb. And it isn't a hill any longer. You gave me a mountain this time. My woman got tired of the hardships, tired of the grief and the strife, so tired of working for nothing, tired of being my wife. She took my one ray of sunshine. She took my pride and my joy. She took my reason for living. Oh, she took my small baby boy. So this time you gave me a mountain
I'm going to quote our buddy Eddie Stubbs. Are there any questions? When you get through with the song, there are no questions. You have answered them all.
Thank you, Bill. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. That band. Goodness.
Band.
You get up here in front of them, you better sing. But
we'll let you do that other song a little later on.
Okay, I don't make no difference. Now I got the tough part over with.
That's great, man. That's terrific. Gave Me a Mountain by Gene Watson. Don't get a lot better, does it? You know, I say so many times at the Opry, and we all do in different ways, that when the fans come to the Opry at the end of the night, they've heard and seen so many different things and so many different kinds of music, from bluegrass music to honky-tonk and everything. But there's only one group that puts the Western into what they always called country and Western music, and they're always the same, and they're always so great. Our buddies, the Riders in the Sky. And we're glad to have y'all here. And you too, Sloan.
Yes, and you too. Thanks, Bill.
Doug, you're kind of the historian and the spokesman, Doug Green, for the Riders and for Western music, period. Do you find did the fans still to this day continue to accept the Western music just like they have for all of these years?
We're still working. Yes, they do.
You've kept a tab. Bring me up to date. How many shows have you done there? What's the total up to?
Oh, we're up to 6,335 today.
Wow. That's more than the Grand Ole Opry. It's in the 4,000s somewhere.
We've been busy.
Of course, that's just once a week.
We've spent 35 years living life the cowboy way.
Well, no, stay up. You're already up. Come on up here, because they're setting the microphones for you. You ever worked on the road with these guys?
A few things, yeah, but you know the one thing that you were talking about, there's so much variety on the Opry. There's something for everybody. What gets me about this group, they can entertain everybody in that audience.
That's right.
Male, female, and I always say 8 to 80 because it doesn't matter age, and they're just so unique. There's nobody that doesn't like the Riders.
And you've always continued to wear the Western costumes?
Yeah, we tried fireman outfits for a while, but it just didn't work. We went for a Beach Boys look. People didn't buy it. Went back to the flowered shirts, yeah.
And the chaps, which
yes.
Which you continue to wear.
These are not chaps. This is results of a tragic Rogaine spill, Bill. So this is a blessing to me.
That's right.
Yes. Actually, they're chia chaps.
I'm sorry. They are what?
Chia chaps. Yes, they grow every week.
You're sort of rotating the crop, aren't you, Slim?
Yes, I am. Well, thank you very much. That's an old Grand Ole Opry joke from years back. Remember that?
Well, they still laugh at what you do. They still sing along when you close the show with Happy Trails.
Bless them, yeah.
And the kids love the
They do. The kids
Toy
love
Story
the feel
songs.
of it and the
Woody's
look of it and the
Roundup.
adventure, just like we did when we were kids, except we just never outgrew it. And so we keep doing it. And the people that come to the shows, older people remember it from when they were kids, and now they're bringing their grandchildren on and say, hey, check this out. And so we get them all. We don't get the ones in the middle. We got a mother coming to the show one time and over in South Carolina and said, you're my dad's and my son's favorite band. She said, I don't get it, but they love it. But we had her by the end of the show. She liked it by the end of the show.
Do us a little cowboy music.
Well, I thought we'd do the first song we ever did on the Grand Ole Opry, which I believe was 1979, as guests, and we joined in 1982, about the same time Ricky did, and the Whites, and John. I think we were all in one little group that joined together, and I just think it's just so remarkable that we're in a generation that we could work with Hank Snow and Bill Monroe and Ernest Tubb and Roy Acuff and Minnie Pearl and have such great memories of them and still be, part of the contemporary thing as well. It's just a treasure we'll always have.
Exactly.
Boy, isn't it the truth? All right, let's get serious, do a deeply serious song that tells the story of how the Yodel was born.
When you hear a cowboy yodel and a song of open range, your heart leaps up to hear his stirring tale. But did you ever wonder at the end of his refrain why his voice leaves in a mournful wail?
Well, the story as told to me was handed down through history of a singing cowboy brave enough to try to ride the meanest old cayuse that bucked him off right at the chute and left him spinning way up in the sky.
The bronco jumped up and the cowboy came down. They met at the old saddle horn. It made a deep impression, you could say it changed his life. And that's how the yodel was born.
Show 'em two slams. Hang in there, Sloan.
Riders in the sky.
Wow, it's so high.
It is not easy to entertain a room full of entertainers, but you just entertained this whole bunch.
I would entertain a room full of Airedales with that note right there.
You know, a lady came up to me at the Opry and said, Ranger Doug, it's just not logical for you guys to sing that high.
Oh, if this was a logical world, men would ride side saddle. I know you know that.
I don't want to start any trouble, but how come Joey didn't yodel?
You know, it's just not logical for a guy to sing that high.
He has a yodeling accordion, Bill.
That's right.
I do.
Let's hear it.
My yodeling accordion? You know, I remember Roy Clark used to play with a fine accordion player, too.
Yes.
Name of Jimmy Dean.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We introduced the Square Dancers, and I need to tell you, this is Joey, the Cowpoker King on the left, Woody Paul, Ranger Doug, and Two Slim that make up the group, the Riders in the Sky. Terrific. Hang around. We're going to have to take a break, and when we come back, we'll have more.
I love it. That's awesome. I love that.
Good job, Bill.